Yesterday we discussed the plugin, how to register a class plugin assembly with the help of plugin registration tool. And we have seen whenever a record is added in the subgrid streets record to the existing village, we are able to add the calculate the total count, right? So now today we will be seeing what is the importance of pre-image, post-image. And also today we will learn how to debug the plugin code whenever you find any issues, whenever you have anything something like that, how to debug the code. So in the JavaScript also you might learn, right, how to debug JavaScript code, how to navigate from the line by line whatever you have written. So today we will learn all about that. Okay. Now suppose if you see here, this is the male count, this is the female count. So I want to, whenever a new street is added, I want to calculate the percentile increment. Suppose earlier we have 192, now it is changed to some 292. So the difference will be like 100 per 100, and whenever you want to calculate the percentage, what you will do, you will be dividing with the original, right? So in such scenarios, or if you want to difference previous value and present value, in such scenarios we need the what is the previous data, what is current data, same like in audit history. Now if you see audit history, whenever every street is added, now if you see the children count is changing from 76 to 88, 156 to 201. So these are kind of difference, right? So to calculate such kind of differences, or to know the values, what are values before the operation, what are values after the operation, we will be using the pre-image, post-image concept. Okay. Now to achieve that one, what I will do, for the male count, I will add the male percentile increment to a new field, which will store the float values. That is nothing but a percentile increment. Okay. So for that purpose, I am creating a new field in my solution. So, so this is my solution, right? Plugin practical, which is mine. Someone else created here. Okay, not this way. Yeah, in this table, in this village, what I want to do, I want to create a new field. This field, what it will do, it will basically calculate the difference value. What is the male value before, what is the new male value, and what is the percentile increment. Okay, so for that one, I am creating a new column. Okay, so male percentage increase, increase or decrease, we can't predict, right? So let's see, slash increase and decrease. So data should be number decimal, right? Because 52 percentage means we will write 0.52. So because for that we need to have a decimal or float. So here simple, here you can give the precision values, maximum values. So it could be negative as well, right? So keep the negative as well. Decimal places. So after point, you want to have two points or 3 points. You can maintain here. So I'm just clicking on save. So I created a new field on the village. So I need to add it on forms. So I'm going to my main form. Now under mail count only, I'm adding for mail percentage increase or decrease. Okay. So I added the field, that's fine. But what should I do? I need to calculate the right values, right? So to calculate the values, You should know what is the before mail value, what is the current mail value, right? So when should you trigger? Whenever you are updating this village record, you have to trigger a plugin, right? So for that purpose, I am going to the same yesterday ChatGPT's prompt only. So yesterday we were using it is plugin calculate totals. This one, right? So you can use the threads like this. So if you continue on the same thread, it will give the more accurate results. Okay. So I'm using Power Apps Pro extended GPT. That yesterday I have such the same thing, right? So today what I'm saying, I have added a new column, new decimal column. You need to be more specific. New decimal column on village entity to calculate the percentage increase or decrease, percentage increase or decrease in the mail count values. So to calculate percentage increase or decrease, write a plugin to write a plugin to achieve this. Let's see what it will do. Anything I'm missing? So I have added a new decimal column. If you want, you can give this decimal column as well. So it will use the same column name. So what I will do, I will be using the schema name. So instead of copying and changing, so on village entity to convert values. Whenever village mail count modified, right? Calculate the difference means whenever it is modified only I have to trigger, right? So you need to write like this and enter it. So let's see what it will so we'll create a plugin whenever mail count updated automatically mail it percentage change. So functional requirement mail count this is added decimal we have already when your mail count changes percentage change new mail count old mail count. So plugin design update for post operation will calculate percentage in the mail count. So now if you see here this is giving a ready-made plugin. So register a plugin registration tool, assembly, upload, competitive, release operate plugin, calculate mail change percentage. One more classes it is giving, right? So it is giving. See, it is giving everything. Message, what is the message, what is the primary entity you need to keep, what is the execution pipeline stage you have to keep, what is the filtering attributes, what is the pre-image, what is the everything it is giving. Okay. So it is example behavior it giving. Mail count is 100 earlier. Now it is changed to 20. So 20% increment. Like this. If it is decreased, it will be minus 28%. More old mail count is 0, 50 means 0 by 0. Like that. Okay. Now I am copying this entire code. Before that, I have to create a new class, right? So I am going to Visual Studio. Now in the same solution, this is my first plugin, right? Library. So earlier we have one plugin. So I want to create a one more plugin logic, right? So what you need to do here, you need to click on write, add. So where do you have add? You want to add a new class, right? You can select new item and select a class, or directly select a class. You can do whatever you want. So you need to rename it. I'm just adding it. Now again, the yesterday same like yesterday, it is create a namespace and class. So what is our syntax? Standard syntax. You have to have this, right? So you need to put this, or you can just copy paste entire code from ChatGPT instead of struggling. So copy code, put it here, and replace values. So what should you replace? This is proper, and you have reference. Everything is proper. No errors, right? So how do you check errors? You can just build the solution. You will get the errors. So build completed successfully means no issues. So two plugins are registered. We can able to register. Now if you see, just see the code what we are doing. We are just getting the context service factory service from the service provider. So these are the standards. Run only when mail count is modified. So how do you identify when only mail count is modified? So in the target, if it contains only mail count, other than contains mail count, not means if you have any mail count is not modified, you are returning. Means you are not doing anything. You are just simply returning. Okay. Then if you are checking to get the pre-image to retrieve the previous mail count. So to know the value in the current context, you will have the present value. You should know the what is the previous value, right? For that one, we need to get the pre-image. So for that purpose only, we need to register pre-image. Okay. So we are registering. If the pre-image is not there, it will skip it. And you are getting pre-image values. Old mail count you are getting, new mail count you are getting. So we need to replace the schema name, right? On LUT mail count. Or you can replace all at once using the control H, replaced all. So wherever you have a new entity, now it is updated. And new village also we should update with what is the schema name of our village. This is the one, right? So you need to replace it. So this is I have given in the already. So that's why it is giving directly. So like that, if you give the schema names also in the prompt, it will you will get automatically. You don't need to do anything. Okay. So now my plugin code is ready. I can build it. If I build also, the DLL will be generated. So what I need to do, whenever you make any code changes, you have to register the plugin. But this time you are adding a new plugin, right? That time also you have to register. So how do you register it? You need to open plugin registration tool, open plugin registration tool. We need to sign in to our connection, display list of available organization. So it will ask for credentials. You have to select your account. You need to give your password. So you will get authenticator if you configure. So what is my environment? LUT dev, right? So I just now I am logging to connected to this. So what it is suggesting in the chart GPT, it is saying whenever a mail count. So it is if you it will give the configuration steps as well. Register a plugin registration tool. Step upload your compile DLL class message. You have to register a new thing, right? New step you have to register, right? So what is the step message name? What is the entity? Everything it is giving. So pre-image alias also it is giving. So where is my plugin? My first plugin. So earlier we used to have only one. Now we have only one. What I will do, I will update the DLL. How to update? Right click on my first plugin, click on update. So what will happen? You need to load this today's DLL. So update selected plugins. So it will give a prompt like the selected plugins have been registered. Assembly registered. We are not registering assembly because CC 0. Assembly updated means we are making some changes, right? So one assembly updated and one plugin registered. Yesterday we have only recalculate total plugin. Now we have the percentage also, two plugins here, right? So that's why one plugin is registered. Now if you refresh here, you have earlier you have only recalculate village population. Now you have calculate mail change percentage as well. So like this, a new one will be created. So when do you want to trigger this plugin? For that purpose, you need to create a step when do you want to execute. So in this also, it is clearly given steps, assembly class, message. What is the message you want? You need to use update. So use update. What is my entity? LUT village. And what is my second entity? Should be none. And filtering attributes. When do you want to filter? When do you want to trigger? So whenever male count is modified, I want to trigger, right? That's why I have to select male count. Suppose if you want to trigger on male count, female count, and you have the logic for male count, female count, everything you need to add. Now here I want to run the plugin logic with calling user. So I'm keeping as is. So here they might suggested the what is the step as well. What is the post operation? What is the mention? Execution pipeline stage, post operation. So why I'm telling with respect to ChatGPT, because whenever you give a prompt, it will give you end-to-end configurable solution. You don't need to brainstorm or you don't need to do anything. You don't need to struggle basically. That's the advantage of these tools. So tools are made for us only, right? So we can make use of it. Now, once I reach a step, after that, what I need to do, I need to create an image, right? To get the pre-image values. So I just creating pre-image. And what is the pre-image name? This is the pre-image alias. So copy the same, put it here. Register a new image. Okay. Now plugin is ready. So what I want to do, whenever a new sheet added or whenever village is modified, this thing mail count percentage should be increased. Increase should be calculated, right? So I'm just checking. I haven't checked anything logic because I'm completely relying on ChatGPT. Okay. So let's see how it works. If it get errors also, that's fine. I need to. I have to refresh, hard refresh. So how do I hard refresh? More tools, developer tools. Click on here, empty cache, hard reload. You will get the latest changes. Mail count, mail percent increase, increase or decrease added. Okay. Now what should I do? Now whenever a village mail count is modified, it will trigger, right? So I don't want to do manually this village count. I will be creating a new street. So based upon that, it has to be calculated. So what is my new street? S6. So I'm adding 1, 2, or let's give some big number to make it easy. 120, 56, 7 close. So it is giving one error. That's good. So what's that error? The keep changing. LUT village entity doesn't contain attribute female count. Same yesterday also we had same issue. Why? Did we do anything wrong today? I saved right. Yesterday changes. There it is. Let me download again. Expected. Download offline. Specified cache is not valid. Why? So what do you understand by this error? Specified cache. So here you are getting old mail count, new mail count in a decimal, right? But ideally, what are the mail count values? Integers, right? The percentage is difference is the decimal, but these are the normal integer values, right? That's why it is failing. So like this, you need to adjust your code, whatever ChatGPT is giving, because you haven't mentioned what is the mail count data type. That's why it is given assuming as a decimal. Suppose if you mention like mail count is integer, decimal, mail increase decrease is a decimal, it will write code accordingly. So nothing will work as a, if you make any assumptions, it can't make any assumptions, right? It will work as you mentioned only. So I'm just building it again. Let's see. So I'm marked the change means I need to register it, update it. My first table, select the tools want to update, update selected plugins. Done. Now try it again. Now it is says it without any issues. So now I want to see the field that is filled or not, right? So it is filled. 52% is increased. Why? Because earlier you used to have 192. I added 100. 100 is the 50 percentage, right? 192. 192. Okay. Any questions still here? So like this, we will use the what you will use. You will use the pre-image. Same way you can add the post image to get the updated values. Okay. Now, how to debug a plugin? You copied code from the chat GPT and you are able to build it, but it's not working. You want to troubleshoot. You want to debug it. So let's revert my changes this decimal only to understand how to debug. So I'm making back this integer to decimal for debugging purpose. Okay. So or you can make one also. If you make one also, you will get an error. So what I will do now, I will just I will learn how to debug now. Again, I am building it to get the error because whenever you get error only you want to debug it, right? So that's why I'm setting back. Now what I will do, I will do some change here from 290 to 392. So I'm saving it directly. So now also I'm getting error, same error. Specified cache is not valid because plugin is throwing error which has incompatible in the caching. Now I want to, I don't know, if you have 1,000 lines of code, you can't identify immediately, right, where it is failing. As we have simple code, we are identifying like this is the cache, this is the type cache issue. If you have multiple lines of code, you can't know where it is failing. To identify that, what you need to do, you need to debug only. So how do you debug a plugin? Now if you see, to debug a plugin, you have something called profiler. Whenever you install profiler, you can do the debugging. So first thing to do the debugging, you have to install profiler. Okay. So I'm doing installing profiler. So once you install for one environment, that is sufficient. You don't need to install for every plugin. For this environment, I never install a profiler. Now that's why I'm able to install. If you open the same environment from your end, it will be there. Profiler will be available. It's for once for environment. Okay. Done. It will take a moment. Any questions so far? I can do refresh here, so you can get it. No. So anyone tried yesterday electoral assignment? Any challenges in that? So after this, you will get like profiler installed successfully. So you have uninstalled profiler means it's already there. Now you want to debug this plugin, right? Calculate mail chain. So you need to click on this plugin. You have to add start profiling. So you need to click on this step. Click on start profiling. So here there will be two options. One is exception, other one is persistent entity. So whenever you choose exception, whenever you perform this operation, whichever triggers plugin operation, that time you will be getting the exception. So right now I have selected exception. Now what I want to do, I want to update this, right? So 392, it's already unsaved. So I'm just clicking on save. So you will get an exception. Earlier you got an error. Now you will get a exception. Business process. See like this. Download the details and load with plugin profiler. Like this, you will get an exception. You have to download this log file. Okay. Now to debug the plugin, here if you see besides uninstall profiler, you have debug. So you need to click on this debug. So profile location. What is profiler? Whichever you have downloaded just now. This is the profiler error details text. So you have to attach it. How to attach? Open your local, go to downloads, error details, attach it. Now specify the assembly. Where is your assembly? You for that one you have to go to solution, open folder in file explorer, copy this path. Okay, copy this path. Go to here, search for assembly location, put it here, control V. Open bin. In the debug you have the assembly location. Open it. Now if you see start execution. So before clicking on the start execution, right now you are doing everything in the plugin registration tool. There is no connection to your code except the error. So to debug in the Visual Studio Code, you have to do attach. You have to attach process. So for that purpose, on the top ribbon in the Visual Studio, you have debug, right? Click on this attach to process. Which process you want to attach? Plugin registration, right? So look for P. You will get plugin registration. So open, attach this. Now once you attach it, the your code will be like in this mode, like running mode. Earlier it was in like now it will be like a running mode. Now what you need to do, you have to click on, you want to debug, right? So for here also you need to put the breakpoints. So I'm just maximizing this. So you can collapse this. Okay. So I am just want to debug from the top. So I'm just keeping a breakpoint here. Now what you want to do, now you need to click on the start execution. So what will happen? The controller will come to here. So from here you need to do F10 to debug it. Okay, do F10 again, do F10. So like this, if you're debugging, so you can identify where you are getting the error. Earlier case, you don't know, you are just getting error, right? Now you can, whenever you execute this line, you will get an error because this is expecting decimal, but actually mail count is the integer, right? Now whenever you do F10 here, you will get an error. So it is saying specified cache is not valid. So the error is coming from this line. So like this, you can find the where you are getting the error. So once you see this line of code, among if you have 1,000 lines of code, you can identify it. What is the error? What is the mistake you might be. So like this, we will identify the error. Okay. So this is all about debugging. Any questions here? Too many interviewers, too many times they will ask, means in each interview, at least they will ask how to debug plugin. Okay, just have this. Any questions? So now I could see like this is the issue. So what I will do, I will stop it. I will stop this and I will make a code change. I will make it. Again, I realized like this is also I need to change. So I made it. So I want to, before deploying, I want to test again. So what I will do, I will build it. Okay. And I will update the plugin installation tool. Click on close, update the DLL, the same location I'm updating. Select the plugins, update selected plugins. So this is done. Now what you want to do? You want to test it again, right? Whether your code is working right. So that's why I'm not stopping profiling. I'm keeping as is. So again, I'm marking the changes here. Again, you will get the error. Business process error you're getting. Just refresh the page. You should get error like download something like that. Okay, 392. Let's say now I need to attach the process. Okay. Now what I need to do, I need to check debug, right? So you have to download whatever you are downloaded. Where is my downloaded? This one. And editor by passing the plugin profile from the, because would you like to see the details of the error? Why it's not giving error? Unable to parse the argument service called. Why? Because you are not getting any exception, right? That's why you are not getting. So in such scenarios, we will be using the second method. What is that second method? Here, if you stop profiling, you can't stop profiling. Again, do start profiling. Earlier, we have selected exception, right? So exception will do work whenever you get an error. When the profiled component is triggered, an exception will be thrown with the compressor profile in the error message. Persistent entity, the profile will be stored in a custom entity for each profile operation that occurs. So in the first case, we will get an exception, but in the second case, we won't get any exception. So now I'm using the second case, persistent entity. So with this persistent also, you will get a profiling everything same. For this purpose, what you need to just redo the operation. So what I want to do, I'm updating the 392 mail count and just clicking on the save. So it is updated. Now I want to dig out how does it works? How does my code went? So for that purpose, I need to click on this debug. Now, now if you see the profile location earlier we have error log file, so we attached it. Now we are using a persistent entity, right? So you need to click on this. Here you will be having the when it is trigger everything. So my plugin is figured out 847. So I'm using the first case, selecting where is my assembly location. You need to get it from here, right? Again, start execution. You have breakpoint already, so I'm starting it. So now also it will trigger. Now I will test my change. So it is come to here directly because it doesn't have any change. Okay. So what I will do, I will click on continue again. So here instead of the first one, I will be selecting the this one this time. Not start execution. So then main count. Now it is going right. So here if you see earlier you got error, but now you didn't get any error because earlier it was a compatible casting issue, but now you fixed it. Like this, you can test the values. So the fundamental difference between exception and persistentity, when you do the exception, you will get a error in the UI. But when you do the persistent entity, you won't get any error. The log will be appeared in the profiler. Any questions? Now, so it's not possible everyone to debug. So you want to make it some little more easy. So for that purpose, we have plugin trace log concept in the CRM. So for that purpose, what you will do, so in your code, you might see, right, you don't have any logs, anything. So what I want to do, for each step, I want to capture some kind of a log, some kind of event. So for that purpose only, we will be using the tracing service. Right now, we don't have tracing service. So in the chat GPT, I will ask to add tracing service. Now, before that, we need to enable tracing service in the environment. So for that one, click on administration, go to installations, enable logging to plugin trace log. Now it is off, right? I'm adding all. Okay. Now let's go back to ChatGPT. So final plugin trace log. The same thing it will be there. So but if you see after every code, let me put it here and tell. So if you see earlier, do you have this tracing service values? Plugins not terminated early context depth. Like this, you don't have, right? So what is this lines means? It will capture a log till what line code is executed, till where did you get error, like that. Without debugging, also you can identify. Okay. So first thing we need to replace schemas. Okay. Replace all. Next thing, village also you have to replace, right? Underscore correct only. Red spelling. One occurrence, nice. So anything else we changed? Decimal we need to change. Same code, but we just added the tracing service. So in if you see for everywhere it is added tracing, plugin terminated, plugin executed. So for this also old mail count, what is the old mail count, what is the new mail count also we are printing, logging. percentage change calculated, old main count is 0, avoid division. Okay, so everything you made change. Now you are updating back. So build this for debugging to date. Okay, this now. So I don't want to debug, right? So I'm stopping profiling. Update the assembly. Update. Select this. First plugin. Open. Select it. Update selected plugins. Calculate change percentage not found. Okay. What we need to do. So the namespace should be same as earlier. So substitute. Assembly registered. Updated. Okay. Now what I want to do, I am not doing. I'm not doing debugging. I will just creating a new street to see the my plugin trace log. I'm triggering the event in sequence. So mail count will be like 2, 3, 4. Save and close. Now this got changed, but I'm not worrying about this result or that. What I want to see, I have added my tracing code. I want to see the where this logs captured. So as you enable the system tracing log, I haven't enabled. What happened? So go to administration, customization, it's enabled, right? So whenever you enable this plugin trace log, there is a entity in the CRM that is called plugin trace log. In that you can see the all trace logs. So search for plugin trace log. Where it is we have plugin trace log. Switch to close. So look for plugin entity. So it will be like this plugin trace logs. Click on results. So see here you could see the all information. What is the operation type? What is the plugin name, type name, and what is the message name for which event it got triggered when it is executed. So to see more details, you have to open this record. So if you open, you could see like this. System created. This record is created by system. You haven't done anything, right? So system created. What is the type name? What is the message name? What is the primary entry? Everything you would see. And if you go to execution, so start plugin terminated by early context step 2. So where do you have this logic? So in your trace log, you might have some context step. If you context step is 2, you don't want to execute logic. See, prevent recursive triggers. Depth is greater than 2. It is splitting like this. Plugin terminated early context depth is 2. So, but we don't want this depth condition. So I'm just commenting this. I'm allowing the recursive plugin. So basically depth means from where it is calling. Is it calling directly or from some other place? So I created the street, right? So street will be the first level of operation. On the village, it will be second level of operation. Suppose if I directly modify here from 526 to 456. So this will be the first level of operation. So depth will be 1. Whenever this plugin is triggering from another entity means that time it will be the depth 2. Now I am modifying mail count, right? Directly on the village. So depth will be 1. So my logic will execute. Now it come to minus 13 because it is decreased. Now you can go to your advanced find, refresh it. You will get one more record. So 858. Now if you see execution, if you go to execution, depth is 1 now. If you see old mail count is 526, new mail count is 456, percentage change 13%, updating village record like this. So from where did you get this all these logs? You are writing as a tracing service, whatever you everything you have written, net old mail count, new mail count, tracing service, tracing service dot trace. These are the plugin trace logs. Any questions? Srinivasu, Shivendra. Shivendra join the call.
Yes, yes.
You understand that what do you mean by trace log? So the core logic, whatever you execute without debugging, you want to know till when it is executing. So to understand that purpose, we will write the tracing race. It doesn't mean like you need to write after every line. Some meaningful logic wherever you have, you need to write. If you write for every line, you have to read every line here like a story. So whenever you need, you can add a one line code like some results there. So if you see here I'm adding old mail count, new mail count. After calculating the change, I'm adding. So like that, you need to make some meaningful traces only. It's not like executed line number 51, executed line number 52. If you make like that, it won't help you. Okay, that's not a good practice as well. Any questions? Okay, so plugin is like a version to understand whenever you want to implement custom from the plugin. So this is our custom code, right? So you can write whatever you want to achieve here. You don't have any restrictions. C# code is like more compatible. You can do the integrations. You can connect any complex logic. You can write whatever you want to within the CS code. So once you write the CS code, you need to attach to CRM to execute it. So whenever you want to have whenever you want to have integrations, either they will use Power Automate HTTP triggers or they will use the plugins to connect to the external resources. So how do you connect to external resource from a plugin? So for that also we will be using standard C# code. Connect to a external HTTP endpoint from plugin. So if you write like this one, they will give some prototype. You have to make change anything. So it has to use client ID, client secret to authentication. So whatever you type in the chart history, that should be more specific and more mean. Then only it will give the that much accuracy results. If you give very vague, so simple. So to deliver any address, you need to give the complete full address, right? What is the street number? What is the village name? What is the pin code? Everything. Then only the address will be the courier will be addressed properly. Same way, whenever you want to use ChatGPT also, you have to give the specific forms, not generic. Okay. Now, if you see here, they are writing call external API plugin. So this for this also we will have the same standard tracing service, client ID, client secret, access token. So with plugins also you can connect to the external system instead of Power Automate. Earlier we used to use plugins very often before Power Automate emerging, but right now we are using Power Automate for everything. 90% we are using Power Automate. Unless they need something in real time, something they need pick, then only we are using plugins. Okay. Anything want to know additionally here? And if you see here, So whenever you open any assembly, you have this what is the isolation mode and what is the location. Everything they will ask in the interview. So earlier we used to have on-premise CRMs and online CRMs. So that time, so whatever the sandbox means, the sandbox CRMs are nothing but an online CRM. So the DLL will be there in the online. So earlier they used to have on-premise, right? For the on-premise, they will be selecting none and specify the location where assembly should be stored. Earlier we used to have on-premise CRM, right? That time they used to have database, global GAC will be there, global assembly cache, and we will have some more option. Even I'm not sure. So like that they used to have, but right now we are using online CRM, right? So everything will be stored in the database only. That's why these options you can't make change. And the next point, whenever you open any plugin, you need to understand whenever you are adding a step, what are the options you could see. Now if you see what is the message means, when do you want to trigger and which entity you want to trigger. And you have secondary entity, right? So secondary entity, when do you use? So in our scenarios, in the state scenarios, what we are doing we whenever state is creating, we are triggering, right? Instead of creating a state, whenever a state is added from the existing, so that time you want to trigger the plugin, you will be using the associate plugin. So in such scenarios, you will be using primary entity will be like LUT state, and what is the related entity? Village. So it's not getting so otherwise you can keep blank and you can use it in the directly in the code. So that is the meaning of primary entity, second entity. And now we have filtering attributes. So when do you want to trigger filtering attributes? So if you keep update, you will get this filtering attributes option. So when do you want to trigger? Are you only male count change, or you want to trigger on female count change, or you want to trigger on children count change, or you want to trigger on every entity? So based upon that, you can configure. Okay. So here you can keep all fields are your specific fields, and this is event handler September coming from the assembly. You don't need to do anything. Run in user context. Now what I'm doing here, if I am modifying the record and code is also executing on my name. So in that case, what will happen? If you see the audit history, so mail percentage increase, so mail count changed from 526 456 by LT4 admin, and the percentage increase also made changed by LT4 admin, because I am calling user, the plugin is executing the calling user. Instead of that one, suppose if I want to keep someone who has let's assume someone who has system admin here. So I'm run in user context is 1 month here now. So what will happen then? So whenever I update this plugin or this village, the first mail count change will be on my name. The next percentile will be on the Hanumantu name. Go to audit history. See. So that's the meaning of running user context. So on whom user context you want to run the plugin logic. So first change I made. The second change, it is happened from the plugin, right? So the plugin is running in the Hanumantu context. That's why you have this change in the Hanumantu name. Getting what do you mean by user context? Shivendra.
Yes, Harish. Yes, sir.
And the next thing is execution order. Suppose you have 3 4 plugins on the same update event, same village entity. So which one you want to execute first? So those order you can mention here. If you don't mention anything, any order, whichever is registered first, that will execute. But if you specifically mention 1 2 3, we have the same event, same message. In such scenarios, the execution order will be considered. Okay. Anything? Now, yesterday on we have seen what is the pre-operation code stuff. When do you want to execute this code? Before the core operation or after the core operation? Based on that, you will be deciding. And execution mode. When do you want to you want to execute in the synchronous or asynchronous? For the workflows, we have seen right what is the behavior synchronous and asynchronous. If you do the execute synchronous, it will stop all other operations and execute the plugin logic. If you keep asynchronous, it will run in the behind. So that's what. Now, if we see for the deployment, as this is same like on-premise version. Earlier we used to have on-premise, right? So that time we used to have server and offline. As we are using only online now, it will be server only always. Okay. Any questions? So everything you need to observe. Now for the pre-image also, here I am capturing all parameter. You don't if you don't need all parameters, same like you need only mail count, you can mention the mail count. So only mail count will be available in the pre-image. Okay. Any questions? So today we are done with plugins. Tomorrow we will be starting with custom workflows as per plan. So please make use of the assessment daily, do hands-on, get exposure. Okay. Any questions here? We are done till here.
Yeah, Harish.
Sorry.
I have one query. Here we are writing the plugins in like
Your
Power
voice is like,
Platform.
can you be a little louder?
Now it's audible.
Yeah, you are audible, but not clear. Tell me.
Now is this now it is fine?
Your voice is very feeble, very low.
Very low. For everyone, same like that only.
Now it's better. Please tell others. Shivendra, do you able to hear Srinivasa?
Yes, yes. Now it is better.
Am I audible or not, sir?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you're
You are
not.
audible. Now it is better.
Okay, okay.
Now tell me.
Yeah, my question is like we are writing the C sharp code in plugins in tables, entities in Power Platform tables only. Yes. Apart from in like dynamic CRM, CE, anywhere we need to write it, or if any plugin we need to execute here only.
I didn't get you. We are writing plugin code to execute. Apart from plugin means?
Okay. Means we are see for plugins operations everything we are executing in tables only. Means
Yes.
entities. That too, it is executing in Power Platform only.
Yes.
Yes.
Dataverse means Power Platform only.
Okay. Apart from this, in except Power Platform, in CRM, if anyone will ask, in CRM level, there is also entities are there, accounts and contacts. There also we can able to execute her. We
Yeah,
should
yeah,
not
yeah.
touch
So
that one.
actually,
Only
why
here
I,
only.
yeah, good question. Actually, why I always I prefer to use custom entity because you will know from from the scratch. Whenever creating entity, you need to select the organization scope. You need to give the everything right. So you can. It's not like that. You can use the existing account contact also.
No, no, no. I'm saying I can able to get the existing account from contact, but execution point I'm saying if I don't have Power Apps platform,
Okay.
this plugin concept where I need to execute in sales or sales module or case management or marketing.
For that also you can register plugins. Suppose if you see this is my custom Power Apps. So now let me
Yes,
show you one customer
you
service app.
got my point. If you want, I will tell you in Telugu also.
So this is the customer service app. So in this customer service app, you will have out of the this is the out of the box app, right? So you will have out of the
Yes,
box entities, lot of out of the box entities. So here you can case will be there, account will be there, contact will be, everything will be there, right? So here there will be out of the box plugins also there. On top of it, if you want to build a new plugin, you can build a plugin using these entities.
Yeah, if I want to register here, uh, is it possible or only Power
Here,
Platform only?
here also you can register. See, if we see right now we have only assembly, right? But we have some other this Microsoft CRM. All these are out of the box. You can't modify the out of the box, but you can create a new plugin on out of the box entities.
Okay, it means like I'm without opening a Power Platform also, I can able to execute
Ah,
plugins.
you can
Yes,
do. Yeah, you can do.
in sales, because if anyone will ask in sales module, have you done any plugins like that?
Ah, you can do. You can do.
Okay, okay. And another one point is, as you mentioned, in most of the cases we are writing in Power Automate scenario.
Because why I prefer because the starting classes we use this out of the box apps. Later everything I am considering as a some separate business scenario. Sometimes I will correct electronic work, sometimes I will electro. So for everything, it will be like a work as a standalone app because in the real time also CRM works like that only. Because customer service will be there, but 20 to 30% people will be using the customer direct customer service app. The remaining 70% business, they will create their own entities, they will create their own apps, they will use their own tables like that.
Okay, if anyone will ask like in CRM sales module, what are the plugins you have done means we need to follow the same steps only. What we are in
No, no,
Power
you don't need
Apps.
to. So you whatever you for while preparing, what you need to dump your resume here and ask ChatGPT like explain me the plugins I can explain into like that. If you it also it will give. Okay.
Okay,
So interview purpose, we don't need to worry that much because we have too many tools. AI tools are there. We can make use of it. So dump your resume in the ChatGPT Power Apps Pro. Ask like what are the plugins I can develop above from the project. If you hit like that, you can get it. Tomorrow I will show that. Let me prepare some sample resume and I will show that. Okay.
sure, sure. And in Power Apps also, one sample one you can show me in further class how to create a plugins.
Yeah. Anything same. Anything is we are just the dataverse level. Both are same. Power Apps means customer service means out of the box. But in the dataverse, to the dataverse, there is no difference. Both are entities, both are same. Both are both. Everything will be like same. Okay.
Okay, got
Any questions? Anyone else?
it. This DLL versioning control also we can able to do it or directly we can able to deploy in real time.
What?
DLLs.
ALLs, huh?
Yes, yes. Version controls.
Actually, your voice is not coming clear to me. I'm struggling to listen.
Okay.
ALLs?
When we are uploading the DLLs, yes, we are doing the modifications
Yes.
and we are doing the update something. In real time, is there any tool we will follow the versioning purpose?
Actually, what will be happening? Ideally, whatever the Visual Studio you have it, right? You will be checking that code to Azure DevOps. So that's why if you remember, if you see in my entire training videos, we have completed almost 30 classes, right? If you
Yes,
say
yes.
I parked one class, this one, applying CRM changes to with other DevOps CSA. So why did I hold means I want to cover everything at once. Plugin code check-ins and CRM changes check-in. How do we use Azure DevOps? Everything at once. That's why I haven't covered this topic. So in general, whatever the code you have it right. Today you have this code. After 1 week, you will get some more changes. So if you have it in your local, you don't maintain versioning, right? So for that purpose only, we will be checking this code to Azure DevOps. Right now, I haven't signed in, but if you sign in, you could see the add to source control, everything here. You will show the branch name, what is the repository, local repository name, everything you will be shared. You will be shown. Okay. So in the ideal practice, team will be using Azure DevOps to check in their code to maintain their versioning. Okay.
Got it. Got it.
Clear?
Clear. Clear.
Oh, so that's the plan. That's all. Thank you guys.